Her smile shines as bright as the stars at night. Her heart is as kind as can be. She has the patience of a saint, but if you push her, oh Lordy. A straight talker is Smiley. She's the salt of the earth. Make no mistake, she matters. Catch Smiley's story on a live stream. Oh boy, that girl can matter. Go Smiley. She's Smiley, alright. She's Smiley. Make no mistake why she's here. She's Smiley, alright. She's Smiley. If you're guilty, she'll smell out your fear. Missing posters and stories of heartache and fear. She tells us all of the heartbreaking tears. She can sniff out the guilty from a mile away. If Smiley's on the case, then she's here to stay. She cares about these missing children. She cares deeply about them all. She speaks the truth with integrity. For the truth, she will seek it all. She's Smiley, alright. She's Smiley. Make no mistake why she's here. She's Smiley, alright. She's Smiley. If you're guilty, she'll smell out your fear. Smiley's questions are like a heat-seeking missile. She's going straight for the bullseye. Don't ever believe you can fool her. She's too wise, man, she won't comply. She values freedom like the 4th of July. She values respect even more. If you want to earn a place at Smiley's table, watch the clock, it takes time for sure. She's Smiley, alright. She's Smiley. Make no mistake why she's here. She's Smiley, alright. She's Smiley. If you're guilty, she'll smell out your fear. If you break her trust, you're done for. Trust don't grow back like grass. So don't give Smiley a reason to doubt you, or that friendship will shatter like glass. She's a damn good woman, that much we know. She puts in the hours to bring them kids home. If your child is missing, you want Smiley on the case. She is always willing and she gives so much grace. She's a Smiley, alright. She's a Smiley. Make no mistake why she's here. She's Smiley, alright. She's Smiley. If you're guilty, she'll smell out your fear. If you're guilty, you better feel.
Hello, hello, hello. Welcome in, everyone. Welcome in. Good morning from Smiley. Hello, hello, everybody. Welcome in. Hi, Miss Janice. Good to see you. Choo-choo, good morning, good morning. Miss Janice, woo, woo. I'm home and I got these bells, honey. I got these bells. Thank you, Miss Janice, for your $5 super chat and always being a great mod, and thank you for your support. Woo, woo. Thank you. Smiley's ready to make some noise this morning, honey. Thank you. Thank you. Choo-choo, let's see. This case is weird. You're not kidding me. Honey, this is very weird. Very strange. She said, this case is weird in my opinion. I think it has some deep down disturbing issues. And what happened to Celeste was freakish sacrifice ritual that industry does involve in some little. I agree. I agree with you, girl. I agree. And I believe it's going to be some weird things going on here. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Woo! Miss Janice is on the ball. Miss Janice gifted somebody a membership. Thank you, Miss Janice. Hold up, Miss Janice. Hold up here. Let's see. Honey, you are simply the best. Woo! Woo! Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you, Miss Janice. I appreciate you. I appreciate you. I appreciate you all. Thank you. Miss Andrea W. Good morning. Good morning. Thank you for being here. Angel Wings, good morning to you. Good morning. Good morning, everyone coming in. I hope you please hit that thumbs up, that like button, and subscribe and share and all the things to get this out. It is free. All of that is free. Please, let's grow this channel together. Susan, good morning. Good to see you. Hello there. Hello, Deanna. Hello. Happy Saturday. Happy Saturday. It is a beautiful day outside. Lady Q, good morning to you, Lady Q. Hello, hello, hello. Hello, everybody coming in. Hello, hello. I hope everybody's doing good on this beautiful Saturday. Good morning, Millie, beautiful Millie. Hello, hello. Good to see you. I am strolling on down here. I am. I'm just strolling and rolling. Strolling and rolling this morning. I hope I don't miss anyone. Fly Girl, hello. Happy Saturday. Happy Saturday. Who all have we got here? Oh, my goodness. Let's see. Stephanie Williams. I am saying welcome in, everybody. Nana, hello. Nana Rocks. Nana Rocks 59. Hello, hello. Let's see here. Let's see. Whoop, you are all simply the best. You are in my book. Absolutely, absolutely. Welcome in and good Saturday morning. Thank you all for being here. I appreciate you all very much. Now, remember, nobody has been charged with anything. Nobody is guilty of anything unless they are proven guilty in a court of law, jury of our peers, right? We understand that. But I want you to all remember who is the victim here, and that is Celeste. Hey, Lisa Thompson. Hello, beautiful. I hope you're doing okay this morning. Welcome in, welcome in. Thank you for being here. Thank you for being in here, and thoughts and prayers, honey, for you. But there's only one victim here, no matter who did what, how, who, what. This young girl is gone, Celeste. And regardless, she is a victim. She was a victim. She's no longer with us here on this earth, right? And it's very sad and it's sickening. And no one has been charged. No one is been blamed yet. There's a lot of controversy out there. These are my thoughts and my opinions alone. Everybody can have their own thoughts and their own opinion. But first off, I do want to say, first things first, I have to say very loud and clear, my heart does go out to her mother. Nobody should ever have to bury a child. Nobody. That grief is something a parent cannot ever explain into words or can ever heal from. And I will not take that away from her. I won't. She has suffered a great loss, no doubt. But there is a but from Smiley. Okay? Y'all can take it any way you want. Again, my show, my thoughts, my opinion. But, and I say this very carefully, very carefully, very nicely, because while we give compassion, or while I give compassion, okay, y'all do what you want, we also have to ask these questions, hard questions, okay? Celeste was a child. Yeah, there's a but, Lady Q. I mean, honestly, because I know this case is, I can't take that away from the mother, but here's the thing, okay? And as we get all into this, this is a messed up case. See, Celeste was a child. She was a minor. She was 15 years old. Now, she was younger way back when allegedly she met David, D4VD, okay? David, we're going to call him. She was found, and then she disappeared again. See, this is where I have a problem with the missing flyer. It's crazy. I don't even know if I want to get into all that, but we'll get all there. But anyway, she was a child. She was a minor. And see, I try to talk slow on this because I know sometimes I go fast, okay? But her teacher also is even coming out talking. There's others starting to talk. And I'm not so much even speaking on the murder right this minute, but or her body being found or whatever. What I'm talking about, even her brother has came out and spoke. And you're going to see that in a minute because I got videos to play. Her brother even said the family knew, okay? So the family said, if the family said they knew and she was around him being David, if you know that, no matter if you ever saw him or not, and I'm speaking on just what I've heard, we don't know the facts, but what I've heard, okay, like how old he was or whatever you've heard, or this singer or whatever, okay, y'all understand where I'm going. But if you know the first time, okay, so the second time, really shame on you. Then she goes out missing again. Wouldn't that be the first place you knock on the door? Wouldn't you move heaven and earth to follow that lead that you already have? That's the part that keeps me up at night. Now, I've heard the same whispers you all have heard. I'm still trying to make sense of all of it. The talk about money. Someone being paid off. Maybe not her mother, but maybe others in the circle. I don't know if that's true. Right now, that's just all rumors. As far as I know about, it's all whispers. But let me tell you something. Whispers usually mean there's a hole somewhere and shit's starting to drip through. And the truth, well, it probably lays somewhere between here and yonder. It has a way of leaking out. Families under pressure sometimes crack. They do. They sometimes crack. They start to talk. And that's why rumors catch fire. But until proof drops, we'll call it just that, speculation. But I will say this. Don't forget money. Money is the root of all evil, in my opinion. It's been said, it's an old saying. I believe that. It's nice to have, but it is true. It's definitely the root of all evil, especially if you have a lot of it. Some people can have so much money they get stupid. And greed, oh my God, I hate that word with a passion. Greed, that's just nasty taboo to Smiley. That's a nasty word to me. Don't even go there. It makes me see red. I don't know why. It's a trigger for me, but it's beyond ugly, in my opinion. But there was a photo of money being exchanged, or was that just, and I have to say, or was that just part of David's, a video he was doing? I don't know. We don't know. That is for law enforcement. We don't know. But if money was being traded and something more sinister was going on, Katie, bar the door. That's not good. Money is the root of all evil. Now, I want to talk just a minute about who is David, who is D4VD, who is David. How many of you in here has ever heard of D4VD? Put a 1 in the chat if you ever heard of him before this story, and a 2 if you have not. Because mine is a 2, and I have never heard of him before this story. I'll be honest with you. Hey, wait, what? Good morning. So evidently, he's huge. He was huge on TikTok. He's huge, huge. So most of y'all never even heard of him. He was huge in the Fortnite games and all this. A lot of supporters, sponsors are even pulling back from him. He's huge, huge, evidently. Yeah, he was discovered on TikTok. Yep. But never heard of him. But I've been in the last few days listening, researching his lyrics. Hey, Miss Magoo. Reading his lyrics, listening to his songs, because I do like some rap, but I'm going to tell you, I don't understand why they're calling him. And I was just speaking with a friend of mine about this before I come on live. And they said, well, maybe it's a new genre, just like I said, listen, I don't care what you call it. I don't care how you say it. I mean, I would like to hear from other artists and stuff. I don't give a damn what you call it. This is not rap. This is some dark shit, in my opinion. In my opinion, and I like all music. The only music I just can't hardly tolerate is freaking opera, and I'm sorry. I just never have been able to. Or I don't like heavy metal. I'm sorry. That's just my, whatever. But I can almost like tolerate anything, but I'm sorry, David Anthony Burke, which is his name. Your music fucking sucks. That's my freedom of speech and my thought and my opinion. Hey, Ginger Snap. And he can have that freedom of speech about the way I look, the way I decorate my house, the way anything else. But his music to me fucking sucks. If this did not happen and I heard him today, there's no freaking way I would listen to him. It sucks. Yeah, Chuchi said, in my opinion, David's music is like dark poetry. You're not kidding. So his real name is David Anthony Burke. He's now 20 years old. And of course, he's a singer. Some people keep saying he's a rapper. I don't know where they got that at. I'm not going to spend much time on him because he is not important to me other than the girl was found in his car. Okay. She's the victim. But anyway, you can't not bring him into it. I do feel he's going to be arrested. I do. Why he's not now, I don't know, but we'll get to all that. But he broke out with these viral songs that went viral. He like Here With Me, and he was found on TikTok. He was homeschooled. Listen, I'm starting to think that they just need to do away with homeschool. Even in his own words in an interview that I saw, I do agree with him on that. I mean, that's a lonely life. And as we see in these other cases, a lot of these crimes and stuff go with these missing kids when they're homeschooled. Look, everybody needs a break. Everybody needs to get out and mingle. Everybody needs to have their own life. Everybody needs to learn about life, the real life. They don't need to be sheltered. That's just my opinion. Maybe we need to take a second look about these homeschooling situations. I don't know. In certain situations, unless it's a dire need for disabilities or something like that, maybe. I don't know. I don't even know anymore. But just off the top of my head, this is getting out of hand. But he quickly built this following online, and he went from recording his tracks in his little sister's closet, from my understanding, to getting millions and millions of streams. And he signed this record deal. He started out, he signed a record deal. But now his name isn't trending for what he wanted, which was music, allegedly. It was tied to this tragedy, which is a body that was found in his Tulsa, which identified as a 15-year-old girl named Celeste Rivera Hernandez, a missing girl from California. And in my opinion, what he sings, at least what I heard and what I've studied and what I saw, again, I told y'all it's not rap, but it's very dark. What I consider rap is not that freaking dark. I mean, some of it is, and some of it's not good, and some rap shouldn't be listened to, in my opinion. But my God, I think this right here, what he's doing before Celeste went missing, before he even met her, during the time he met her, was dark and was on his mind about nothing but gross, killing, unaliving girls, bullshit in the making, in my opinion. And it's just dark. I personally think his music sucks, like I told you. And I can't put that on all rap. I'm sorry. Now that that's out of the way, how I feel about that, let's watch a couple of things here. Let me turn on a couple of music, a little bit of music. Fair use is in my about section. Fair use is everywhere. My mods are going to drop it. Fair use, we're doing it for teaching, criticism, all the things. Everybody will be credited. I know there's some new ones we're going to use because this case branches out. I'm going to put some commentary in it. And I just hope, and it is in my live section, I just hope that we can help somebody, anybody, and talk about this. And this should not be happening. It should never be happening to a living soul, ever. So hold on just a minute. And, there's the disclaimer under Section 107 of the Copyright Act, 1978. Allowance is made for fair use for purpose such as criticism, comment, news reporting, and teaching. Thank you, Millie. Thank you for that. Let me put a little bit of music on. I'm going to try to make it not so loud so we can hear some of these videos. Hold on just a minute. Okay, there's that.
Is found in a Tesla. The vehicle is registered to a popular music artist known for his moody and emotional style. Singer David now finds himself at the center of a media storm.
I'm looking over shoulders. I wanna fall in love. Think we should settle down. And that's what I told her.
That is David performing one of his latest hits, A Friend Again. The 20-year-old, whose real name is David Anthony Burke, is a rising artist with nearly 4 million followers on TikTok alone. The decomposing body of 15-year-old Celeste Rivas was found inside a Tesla registered to David in Los Angeles after somebody noticed a stench coming from the vehicle. It was in a tow yard. In a statement to Court TV, the medical examiner said in part the decedent was found severely decomposed inside a vehicle on September 8th, 2025. She appears to have been deceased inside the vehicle for an extended period of time before being found. Rivas was last seen in April of 2024, about 60 miles away from Los Angeles. She was 13 years old at the time when she was reported missing. Authorities have not implicated David in Rivas's death. The singer is cooperating with police. So what questions remain in this investigation? A ton. Let's bring in criminal defense attorney David Bruto, media personality and artist, head rack, and retired NYPD Detective Mike Alcazar. Good morning to all of you. Head crack. Let's start with you. David, give us a sense of his career in terms of its trajectory, where he is at this point. He's only 20 years old, but he's already made quite a mark.
Making waves in all the right spaces and places. One of the places he really got a big launch pad from was Fortnite. He was one of those guys who made like one of the first anthems for the game that was utilized a lot. And he also is like really big on social media platforms like Discord, Reddit, naming a few. And, his fans are very active. They engage with his music. And he's one of those artists who's like, using all the tools that are available in a different way. And it's really like made quite an ecosystem for him.
And now he's at the center of all of this. David, the body is severely decomposed. That's a problem, is it not? In that, at the end of the day, they may not have a cause of death here.
Yeah, without a doubt. First thing that jumped out at me with that forensic pathologist statement is what's the cause of death? Cause and manner are the starting point for any prosecutor in a homicide case. And this may not be a homicide. This could be a drug overdose. It could be a medical event. So certainly that is first and foremost for
Listen, I'm going to stop that now. Trigger warning. I love Court TV. I don't know who that guy is, but that's the stupidest damn remark I've ever heard in my life. What does he mean? I guess he's just saying in hypothetical, it couldn't be a homicide. We all know it's a homicide because the body was chopped into pieces. It did not chop itself into pieces and put itself in the car. So, of course, it's a homicide. That's number one. Okay? So we know it's a homicide. We just don't know who committed the homicide, right? Now, there's things that's come out, and we're going to see in some of these new videos that some stuff about the Bodyguard. I think I got that one up. And I have some things that I'll commentate on that about later. So I was just thinking about that this morning. That's why I want to be very careful. It's, in my opinion, pointing straight to David, but there still is that but there. There's some things that's come out about this Bodyguard. So could they possibly have been in this together, or one or the other, or anything? I don't know. Hey, I have questions like y'all. I am researching the heck out of this. This case is off the chain. But this little girl right here, and I call her a little girl, that's exactly what she was. She was failed, in my opinion. And she was a victim. But she didn't chop herself up. So we know it's a homicide. Let's carry on.
Investigators and prosecutors is to determine how she died. Depending on how the body is, how much it's decomposed, there's still ways to get toxicology from the body, and there should be damage and broken bones and all kinds of different ways to come to that decision. That's number one. Number two, we are in a gold rush of technology. Headcrack talked about the use of tools by this particular person, but at the same time, there's also going to be text messages and DMs, and there's going to be Snapchats, and there's going to be surveillance video, and the tech is so strong right now for law enforcement to be able to go back into the lives and look at digital footprints of both the victim and the suspect and determine who, when, where, and all the questions that really need to be answered with respect to the relationship. So those are two things that jump out at me, cause and manner, and then the tech that could basically put together the relationship and the communications.
Mike David's Hollywood home was searched yesterday. They were out there for an extended period of time, picking up on what David just said. You have an individual who is a 20-year-old, very successful, wealthy entertainer. He's got a lot of people around him, and there's vehicles around him as well. And that's already been, it's been thrown out there as well. It's just because it's his vehicle doesn't mean he was the guy with the keys to the vehicle. Give us a sense of the difficulty of investigating this case from what we know.
Yeah, very true. That was the first thing that popped into my head. So they recovered this Tesla. They're going to canvass for video surveillance. It's already been told that the Tesla's been parked in several locations, so they're going to canvass for video there. The Tesla itself might have video surveillance. Everything's recorded electronically on Teslas. Its movement, and who approached it. And like David said, they're going to compare what kind of evidence, any kind of forensic evidence that they can gather from the scene, and they're going to compare that to any kind of DNA evidence inside the vehicle, inside his residence. It's going to be a methodical search for forensic evidence, and it's going to be daunting given the timeline and the decomposure of the body.
Yeah, it makes it very difficult out of the gate. Let's take a little closer look at the 20-year-old artist, David, including these kind of eerie lyrics from a hit single that he has. It's called Romantic Homicide, which was released 2 years before Revis went missing.
I hate you.
I mean, that's as creepy as it gets. That his YouTube video from that song with blood and a knife. First went viral on TikTok. Did this artist with 3.8 million followers now released his debut album Withered in April. Been on tour since August. Tour stops in Seattle on Wednesday were canceled, and shows he's set to perform in San Francisco and Los Angeles this weekend.
And I will say this, there's a lot of people covering this case. There's a lot of artists and a lot of people in the music side of YouTube, and a lot of people like that who are covering this case. Please, if I drop their link, sub up to them or whatever. And news outlets that are covering this case. There's not a lot of true crime covering this case. And I don't mean to be mean or ugly. And I don't mean anything personal by it, so I hope anybody don't take anything personal by it. You're not going to see a lot of people covering it, and I'll tell you why. They're not going to cover it for this reason right here. When they pull up a video like this and it's playing music, even in the news or something, it's going to demonetize them. And so they're not going to be able, they don't want to sit here like Smiley does. And they don't want to take their time to get these type of stories out because they won't make any money. Whether it's $1.25 or their super chats or their cash apps or any of that. Smiley don't give a damn. Okay, I'm going to report on this because I think it's important. That's what I think. I think it's important. And I think this is going to take a lot of twists and a lot of turns. And I think it's important, and I think it can help somebody. So if I put somebody's channel in here, I want y'all to please go, and they have other things too, and feel free, go up to them. I also am going to play Strategic Guys today. Now, he's a real live detective. I like him. I like to get his insight on things because he's out there on the street. He does SA crimes. Look, he's almost at 100,000 people. Sub up to him. He's only got like 2,000 more, maybe less than that. Sub up to him. Shout out to him. I don't care that they're bigger than me. He's got a lot of intelligence, in my opinion. But you're not going to see a lot of this being told from the true crime community. And it is a shame. It is a shame. It needs to be exposed. It needs to be exposed. A lot of people, again, have not even heard of this guy right here until this came out. And it's important. It's important because she was a minor. It's important for many different reasons. It's so important. I just wanted y'all to know that. It's important. Every life matters. Money don't matter. Money is the root of all evil, y'all.
See if that actually happens. Reportedly, Hollister and Crocs have now ended their marketing campaigns with the singer. So what's next for David, and how could this affect his career? Once he's a suspect, Headcrack, which we should mention, Headcrack has an album out as well called Microdose. What does this do to him now? Yes, his name is now everywhere, but could this hurt his career, whether or not he had anything to do with the demise of Celeste?
I mean, we're already seeing the downslide of, the sponsorship potentials. Fortnite was getting ready to make a skin for him and put him in the game, and they quickly canceled that. You talked about the Hollister, ad and the Croc thing that also got canceled as well. It's one of those things where, more people know his name now and are probably listening to his music just to see what the hype is about. So you're going to see an uptick in streams, I think, in that regard. And if he somehow proves his innocence in this situation, I think this possibly makes him bigger. And you've also seen situations when someone does something terrible, it also helps as well. There was an artist a few years ago who His name escapes me. He's a rapper from Dallas, the Dallas area who, committed a murder. He was on the run for a while. And his streams went through the roof just because he was involved in a case. And he was actually, he's bigger behind bars than he was when he was in the free world. So, we live in different times than it was back in the day to where, things that would typically end an artist's career actually mysteriously boost them.
Yeah, Mike, from an investigative standpoint too, the amount of people around him and his fame, but also his money. He's a 20-year-old who's already been able to make some serious cash. That would lend one to believe that he'll lawyer up very quickly and access to him is going to be limited. Your thoughts on that part of the investigation and how a little bit more difficult it might be for investigators given his status?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I mean, he can lawyer up. It doesn't mean that the police can't interrogate him. He'll just have to have a lawyer present. So we're going to have to, we could interview the staff, the people around him. I'm sure they already opened up a tip line, and because of his fame and perhaps now notoriety, might be a lot of information that detectives will have to collate and investigate, and hopefully it's something that's proactive that can lead to something good, some good probable cause information that they can act on.
Yeah, we shall see. This is obviously developing. We'll continue to follow it. Mike Alcaraz and Ed Krapp, thank you. Have a great weekend. Appreciate your time on this Friday. Coming up next.
Okay. So, allegedly, Leslie, he's into all of that dark stuff. And that is just, again, we don't know for a fact, but allegedly he's a very dark, in my opinion, person. Absolutely. All right, let's see. Hold on.
Finally getting a little bit more detail on the photo that a lot of us weren't sure where the context was or how accurate it was. And that was the photo of David with what seemed like two kids paying them off in Lake Elsinore, right around the street, or where it was supposed to be right around the street where the victim, Celeste Rivas Hernandez, lived, or where she lived before she ran away. And initially, I didn't know if this was actually true, but then TMZ had posted it, and they said that, yes, this was right next to where she lived, and it's official that they were paying somebody off. And then somebody that knew one of the people got paid posted a video to TikTok. I'm going to play you guys that clip right now.
Yo, what's good, everyone? I know y'all want some more information with this picture. Like I said, man, my homie sent me this 6 months ago. Something like that. I didn't even think about it at the time, bro. Fast forward to now, bro. It's crazy, bro. It's crazy to say something, bro. The news came out about the girl. I put 2 and 2 together, and now we got this pic, bro. Here we are with this pic, bro. I got in contact with the homie who showed me this picture in the first place, and he messaged this kid, and I'm about to show you those messages right now. Basically, it starts off with him, if you really try to ruin your life, I will help you, bud. He says, dude, please. Actually, Ethan, you don't know how bad this is, bro. It says, explain how bad it is then. So he says, bro, this was a secret. This wasn't supposed to get out. David didn't know how old the girl was. She was lying and saying she was 19 when he was 20. And the second he found out, he took her home. And since we were dumbass kids, we tried to blackmail him, and we really messed up. And if you keep that video up, you could ruin his life for doing nothing wrong over a girl lying. And then you could ruin my life because he would know I leaked it. And I could go to jail for slandering him. Bro's tweaking. Basically, after that, he says, what's done in the dark always comes to light. He says, dude, you're weird. Why would you do that? He says, why would you blackmail? Then he starts asking him if that was her. And bro, guess what happens next, bro? Dude just blocked him on everything, bro. And then he sent me his Instagram too. And I can't find his Instagram, but he sent me that he blocked him on Instagram too. This is the screenshot he sent me. But yeah, bro, So yeah, he blocked them on Instagram and TikTok right after.
This was originally posted by an account that was trying to defend David or give an alternate explanation of what had happened. And he was trying to say that, yo, this chick actually lied about being 19. And then David found himself in a situation where he was stuck and he had to pay these kids off, or else that he would be screwed. However, that doesn't really add up. And keep in mind, this all
Now, see, that's the part I was talking about. The video is out there with the exchange of money and everything like that. I just personally don't know why that video is out there. Again, I don't know. Could that be something where David was making a video? I mean, that's possible. And somebody just leaked that out to try to make it look like an exchange of money. Anything is possible, okay? Sometimes people can put you in places that you're really not, and things like that when they're tech savvy. But okay, Lisa, I'll look. But you know, I don't, you know, I don't know, hon. I just don't know if what's real or not. Let me see about this Amber Alert. Yeah, I just don't know. If money is exchanged, like I said, that's just not, that's not good. All right, Lisa sent me okay, Amber Alert, Troop H Region, St. Joseph, Rockport, Missouri, suspect white male named either Alex with an EX or Alec from California. More information will be released as it becomes available. Hold on just a minute. Hold on. I'm trying to bring this up so y'all can see it. Last update, 9/20/25, 2:34:04 a.m. Okay, and Emily Harrington. She's 12 years old, female, brown hair. She was last seen with a brown t-shirt, a light colored leggings, and cowboy boots. Identifying mark, often wears hair in a bun, has a birthmark on the front of her neck. Then there's another little girl as well, and her name is Emma Sue Hale. She's 12. She's female. Her hair is dark blue, and clothing, a red Chiefs hooded sweatshirt and black leggings is what she had on, and she has very long hair. Alec, they don't have a picture of him. They don't have an age of him. They said he's male. They don't have his color hair. They don't have any clothing, what he was wearing, or any identifying marks. They only know he's white. Hold on a minute. Additional information. Hold on. Update photos of the two juveniles have been. Okay, so these are updated photos. Hold on, I'm fixing to show y'all just a second. Hold on. Where's the phone number on here? Missouri State Highway Patrol. I guess y'all would call that number. Hold on just a minute. Anyway, I will post this. Hold on. They have no. So I don't know what is going on there. Girls just went missing from Friday night football game. Why do they think it don't matter why she's still missing? Let me share this real quick. Hold on. Hold on a minute. Oh. They're just putting Alec from. All right, I'm going to share this. Come on. I've shared it on Facebook. Let me share it on, let me get the picture poster. Hold on. So I can put it on YouTube. Sorry, y'all. Thank you, Lisa, for this. Okay. All right, so yeah. All right, I got that. I got it shared. Thank you, Lisa, for that. These kids going missing, man. People need to leave these kids alone. People need to leave these kids alone. Thank you, Lisa. I appreciate you. All right, let's just get back to this. Hold on.
Also ties into that Reddit post that was posted initially a week or two ago when the body in the Tesla was first discovered, and we didn't even know who it was, if it was a girl or a boy. And that post said, my sister, who's now in 9th grade, told me that he was dating an 8th grader. Let's call her C. C is Celeste. And she would go on trips with him to LA. They're all in 9th grade now, and it turns out C's friends knew, and he would pay them to keep their mouth shut. C has been missing over a month now, and nobody knows her whereabouts. Definitely something strange going on. And they said that this picture was before it got discovered. And right now, it's like it's up in the air whether or not he knew that she was 19, which is 100% not the case, because him finding out that she was under 19 and she lied about her age, he would quit. He would be able to recover if he just cut her off then and said, yo, I didn't know, she lied to me about her age and I cut her off. But keep in mind, from a previous video that we did where it'll be up by the time that this is up, that he was talking to other chicks that were in that. They were a little bit older, but by a little bit, I mean 2 years. So we're talking 15, we're talking 16.
But anyway,
and that was not uncommon behavior by him in that Discord, according to other messages said by people. And the reason why he can't even say anything about the situation with Celeste is this one clip from a Twitch stream where I'm just going to play you guys the clip right now, and you guys can guess from what's being said in the chat.
He trained you.
No, you didn't.
That's controversial.
It's controversial of kids.
Really good.
Okay,
it's been a good one. Bye.
Bye, guys.
Mwah, 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 mwah. Oh my! Delete everything. Delete everything. Everything goes. Everything.
So you heard what the girl said in the beginning, and then they're trying to cut out the stream as soon as possible. And then you see David and Celeste island trip. These people are making Epstein jokes. Celeste island trip. Who was on the island? And then they said end stream, canceled. Public statement from David's girl. Nah, she's cooked. End stream. And then you got someone that's just innocent, probably just came in there and said, yo, when's your next tour? Has no idea what the hell is going on. And then someone says, you are done. And here he is telling his mods, yo, delete all of this stuff. We got to get rid of this VOD. And someone clearly still kept it up. But the newest information we would get was from a teacher who taught Celeste and the other student. And he gave his whole information on what happened. And this was covertly recorded by one of his current students and used as a warning. So I'm going to play you guys that clip right now.
Hold up.
That's her in my classroom in front of this poster right here. Okay, hold up. I got another one because I got a picture on TMZ of this other kid exchanging stuff with the rapper who we alleged did this stuff. Hold on a second, because he's also in my
Send that to
classroom.
me email. You have the picture.
We all just found out yesterday who it was, but she's been missing since I taught her. So when I taught her, she met this dude on social media. He's a rapper in LA. He came and got her. She ran away from home. She was gone for like a month. The cops found her in Hollywood, brought her back to our school. She came back to our school, kind of told people this story. She disappeared again in May of that year, May of 2024. That's when her friends told me what happened, that it was this rapper, that they were like blackmailing him, all of this stuff. And then I found out yesterday that she's now dead in that rapper's car, cut into pieces. You want to know how they met? I feel like I just said it. Social media. Let me tell you another story.
So here we have it. This entire storyline, she didn't lie. I don't think the person that was saying that she lied about her age, that's cap. He for sure knew. And if she lied initially, there's no way that she kept lying about it the entire time. He didn't figure things out. And then keep in mind, he said she came back and then told them the story of what had happened before she disappeared again. So she disappeared twice. The first time she went to hang out with him. And we also got to make this very, very clear. This guy was not a rapper. He was not hip hop. He was not a rapper. Let's say that 5, 6, 7 times he was not a rapper. People keep trying to throw the rapper jacket on him. Listen,
amen, honey. Amen.
Underground rappers, maybe they got some weird stuff going on. But hey, I don't cover too many underground rappers. Rappers in general, listen, they've got their they've got their cons like anybody else. There might be RICOs, there might be hits ordered, there might be drug dealing, there might be tricking, there might even be some PIMPing. And frankly, we have not seen something like this in rap in our generation. Like, yeah, y'all that was getting with Aaliyah and all that, that's on you guys. That's not us. And people have their own things to say about J and B. That's on you guys. I don't got anything to say about that. That's not my era. That's y'all's era. So you guys can speak on that. This guy's not a rapper. He is a singer, songwriter. You can call him alternative, whatever it is that you want. So here, it's very odd to me. I don't think this is, he was getting extorted by these kids, but there was nothing. And then this is the thing. People are trying to come at the teacher and saying like, yo, he should have done something. I think he found out a lot more details afterward than he did when she was missing. He probably just thought it was family issues or something like that. But for her to have lived with him for a while means that other people were coming in and out of that crib. And keep in mind, it was just found out that when they sweep that crib, the house that he was living in the hills, it was a crib that was being leased by his manager. So his manager was the one that was leasing the crib, and David was staying there. And this is usually what happens because it's difficult for a new artist that's relatively young to get a lease to a nice place because the people are looking at it like, yeah, you're not the ideal tenant. Not only will you probably stink up this place with smoke or have parties, but you don't got the adequate credit history. He may have the money, the cash, but like I said, the guy's like, 19 or 20 years old now? When he was getting that place, he was probably 18, 19, who knows? So there had to be people going in and out of that house that saw her. And you're not going to tell me that nobody knew the age. I think some people may have seen and were just like, okay. And we're just like, yeah, she looks kind of young, but didn't investigate further because they thought there's no way that this guy's doing this in plain daylight and just leaving it out there for us to see. So I guess I'm not going to ask any more questions. That's what I think of people that may have seen her and reacted to it, because from what we're hearing and what we're seeing, it didn't seem like he just had her chained to some post in a basement, although that may come to surface later. I wouldn't put that past him if he off the chick and allegedly dismembered the body. We still don't know for certain if he dismembered the body or if he allegedly dismembered the body, or maybe someone else, he had a co-conspirator, or if the body had just decomposed for so long that it was falling apart when they found it. I don't know how that works. I'm not a coroner or anything of that sort. But let me know what y'all think about this in the comments. This is getting really crazy. I do think he was paying for sure he was paying these kids from what we're finding out. But the real thing is that if she there's no way that she's going to lie about the age and get away with it for even more than several days. That's an impossible scenario. And some people had tried to point out some sort of Romeo and Juliet law, because he was either 16 or 17 when he met her, and she was 11. That doesn't work because, number one, they're in California. So in California, the age of consent is 18, and anyone under 18 is a minor and cannot give consent. But there are certain states that have like exemptions. For example, like let's say a 17 and a 15-year-old, like let's say they're in a relationship and then they're not going to face those charges. California, I don't think they have that exemption. And if one person in California is 18 or older and the other person is under 18, any activity is unlawful. And if the person is under 14, which in this case she was, and David being over 18, and the other person is 3 or more years older, so 17 plus, that's a felony. So that's really, really serious. And if the under person is 14 or 15 and the other person is at least 21, it's also a felony. So David fell into the first one where the chick was 14 or under and he was 17 or over. So he was completely screwed regardless if this ever ended up getting prosecuted with her, even if she was alive and decided to, I guess, press charges or comply. But there was also information going around, which I want to know more of people saying that she was being PIMP'd by her sister. And this is not uncommon. And I learned this from No Jumper. So No Jumper, as of late, had been interviewing PIMPs that work in the Los Angeles area. And they were saying that it is common. It is so common. Even Adam 22 said it's common for chicks under 1.8 to be out there on the blade and getting tricks. And some of these tricks, the tricks that are the people that are buying the hooker, they don't know. So there's a lot of illegal activity going. And there was just, I think, like a RICO case that was brought on a gang or a crew, some of them rappers, that were claiming that they were PIMPs for PIMPing, or if you really want to call it trafficking, chicks that were under 1.8. So a lot of people, I think a lot of people that are outside of this or may not know this much information are so appalled and in a state of shock of like, how could this even happen? How is this even possible? Well, it happens a lot. And that's not to say that it's right. Of course not. We would never say that. But perhaps that's why she ran away from home, or she ran to this guy because this guy was maybe closer in age and he was going to take care of her and her sister was selling her. I don't even know, because the way that this chick also, like, she was on Discord, she's not, I didn't get the rugged vibe from her, because one of the girls that was under 1.8 that was interviewed, I think, on Adam 22's podcast, I don't know if she was with her mom or something, she was rugged. Like, you could tell, okay, this chick, she's getting down in the underworld. This girl, just from what we've seen, she seemed like a regular chick that maybe is going through stuff at home, but not somebody that was out there on the blade turning tricks.
Carolyn, they may not care, but if you have that picture, send it to me and I'll take care of the police part. Send it to me, please. Email it to me.
I don't see that. But let me know what y'all think in the comments. Like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell if you enjoyed. And I'm going to see y'all on the next one.
Because I care. Smiley cares. Okay? Steak in Kingsport, Tennessee, or Redport, Tennessee. I don't even know if there's a Redport, Tennessee. Clownville. And especially if there's somebody that's looking like Don Wells, matter, send it to me. You don't have to be involved. Just send me. I never give up my sources. Just send me the information and the photo. If it and you don't want to be involved, and that goes for anybody, and it involves a child, send it to me. You don't want to take care of it? Smiley will take care of it. Right now. Troublesome details, right? The meeting online, the running away, the possibility in music business, and the disappearing again. These are often red flags: abuse, exploitation, trafficking. That suggests that they may have been vulnerabilities, maybe emotional, perhaps supervision or trust. And if someone young like that is reaching out online to someone in music, to these artists with more power, that might be a problem. And that can complicate a lot of things. And remember, y'all, the tattoos, the stuff that's unexplainable. I mean, it doesn't confirm a lot, but it sure is mighty suspicious, if you ask me. A lot of people share a lot of similar things for different reasons, but all that context matters, y'all. The teacher's approach at showing this, it's just a warning sign, and it's understandable. It is to me. Schools often try to use real life situations and stories to teach about social media, safety, behaviors, and to teach, a lesson. Sometimes it can be a lot of attention, a lot of stuff like that. And sometimes it can be hard lessons. This case is very active. It's a criminal case, whether they want to say it or not. It's a criminal case. So using it in class could be an impact on an ongoing investigation, and it can be very emotionally intense. We got to think about all that stuff. I don't think that I'm glad that the teacher come out and told and speaking. I really am, but that's just me. Works. I don't know which part you're talking about, pretend judge, but anyway, or I don't even know who you're talking to or what part I missed, but I'm sorry. I apologize. Anybody coming in Blunt High, Worth Summer High, anybody I missed coming in, I apologize. That got you was absolutely questioning human beings, how now, and mental illness. Yeah, let's see. My thing wasn't strolling here. Yeah, send it to Smiley. I can help. Let's see. Yeah, send it. I'm under Smiley story on Facebook, Carolyn. Send it there. That's fine. That's fine. Let's see. Okay. I've been working a lot hours doing research on Devlin. I found some intriguing information, but here for the truth, and it's going to bring them. I hope so, Panda Bear's mom. I truly hope so. Okay, let's see. I'm sorry. There you are. Sorry. That's Smiley. Oh, I meant when the guy said the body was so badly. I don't think that's how it works. Oh, yeah. Yeah. And also, too, about the homicide thing, I was like, what? Like, they didn't chop themselves up, you know? Yeah, I mean, this is crazy. This case is so weird. You know, and it just is. It just is. All right, hold on just a second. We got another one here. Okay. Woo, this is the one I want to hear, okay? We won't listen to the whole thing, but we are going to listen to some of it, okay? We're not going to listen to the entire show, but we are going to listen to some. We're going to listen to some, not all.
Celeste. All right, Celeste Rivas, alleged former teacher, tells students she met singer D4BB on social media. I told her she met this dude on social media, ran away with him. Here we go. Let's do it.
Classroom in front of this poster right here. Okay, hold up. I got another one because I got a picture on TMZ of this other kid exchanging stuff with the rapper who we alleged did this stuff. Hold on a second, because he's also in my classroom.
Wait, how long ago was
this? We all just found out yesterday who it was, but she's been missing since I taught her. So when I taught her, she met this dude on classroom.
I can't see it.
Hold up. That's her in my classroom in front of this poster right here. Okay, hold up. I got another one because.
All right, so we're going to go to the next video. Big shout out to, I just saw some interesting in the chat, to Got Ellie 3.0. She says she applied for Portland Police last week rather, and I inspired her to do that, man. I'm so proud of you. Please go and serve your community. Making excuses, complaining about the cops is not going to change anything in this society. Be the change you want to be or the change you want to see. Join your local police department. We need the help. We're all understaffed. We serve your community. So big shout out to you, man. Good job for you. All right, let's keep going.
Social media. He was a rapper in LA. He came and got her. She ran away from home. She was gone for like a month. The cops found her in Hollywood, brought her back to our school. She came back to our school, kind of told people this story. She disappeared again in May of that year, May of 2024. That's when her friends told me what happened. And it was this rapper that they were like blackmailing him, all of this stuff. And then I found out yesterday that she's now dead in that rapper's car, cut into pieces. You want to know how they met? I feel like I just said it. Social media. Let me tell you another story. Hold on. Social media.
Yo, so check this out, man. So this is the teacher saying that they knew about this stuff, right? This is what I don't get. We're gonna go back here to bring you guys up to speed because we're gonna tell the story. This is what I don't get. The girl was missing. She died this month. The coroner says at least September 8th is where they believe her life ended. Okay. Where was this girl this entire time? I'm gonna show you guys social medias of her streaming with this guy. And this is why I'm going after the parents. Because people knew where she was at. People knew who she was with. Nobody was truly fighting for this girl. Think about it, right? To all the parents who are in the room right now. If your daughter is missing and you could see her live streaming with a rapper, would your daughter still be with this guy? The police knew where to find her because she ran away with him. The police went to his house in Hollywood and brought her back home. And then she left again. They knew where she was at. The same place where they found her body down the block from the same house that the cops came and removed her from months earlier and returned her to her parents is the same house she went back to. And we heard nothing. The girl been missing since she was 13 years old. Since 2024, she been missing. It's September of 2025. She died a week and a half ago. And people are asking why I'm asking about the parents, why I'm questioning the parents. If D4VD was willing to give $1,000 to students allegedly to silence them about the relationship that he was with an underage girl, allegedly. She wasn't even 15 when she died, by the way. Everybody's been misreporting that. She was less than 15 when she died. If he could give $1,000 to these students to silence them allegedly so that people wouldn't talk about his underage relationship with this girl, how much money would he give parents? I'm not saying that he did. I'm just asking a question. I ask questions. That's what detectives do. I'm asking a question. How much money would he give parents to make them stop making noise about a missing girl? I don't know. I don't know if anything like that happened. I'm not saying it happened. I'm just asking, would that be something he would do? Because I'm confused as to why this little girl's been missing all this time and we don't hear no.
And I'm sitting here preaching and I'm on mute. I'm sorry. I said, and he's right, and you're right. Where's Summer and Sebastian 1-800-TVI fine? And he's right. Strategic is right. And he is an active detective, and he's been out there. Although he is in the SA division, he knows what he's talking about. Okay, he knows. Okay, he's very intelligent. Yes, he said it all right there. And we all know, even in all of these cases, if you are underage and we're Summer 1-800, as she was saying, they don't care about runaways. Hold on just 1 minute, please. Hold on just 1 second. Sorry. Sorry. So, I had to think about that just a minute. They don't care about runaways as much. Sometimes they just blow them off. So I had to wonder, she had ran away once. She ran away or she met up with him again or whatever, per the teacher. And I was just thinking, and y'all know it's not good when I start thinking, but was that missing flyer? And again, I don't know. I mean, was that missing flyer just left out there as a, I don't know. I don't even know what I'm trying to say, but it's, I have an issue with that. I do. I have an issue with that. Lady Q's right. He said it all right there. He said it all right there. He said it all. But where was the parent? Where was the parents? I don't like to say that and blame the parents. I'm a parent, and I've said it over and over. You can have one that goes astray, and we know these teenagers are hard as hell now. How hard-headed as hell. Two, on the other hand, but something's wrong here. Something is wrong in this case. Set David aside. Set this aside. Something is wrong here. She's a minor. She was a minor. She is a child. She was a child. She left once. I said it in the beginning of my live. She got back home. It was said, her brother, you're going to see in a minute, has talked now. They knew, the family knew, people, the family knew. Just hang tight.
Noise about it. Let's keep going.
It's been a busy day of developing news. So the body found in the trunk of a Tesla registered to popular music artist David is that of a teenage girl missing since April of last year. Fox 11's Christina Gonzalez live in Lake Elsinore. The stunning development in this case. Christina.
Yeah, her name was Celeste Rivas. She was last seen leaving her home here back in 2024. Her family thought she was missing. She was declared missing back then. They had no idea there could even be a...
All right, real quick, Dr. Cataclysm with $5 super chat says, click the subscribe button. If Strategic gets to 98,500 subs, I'll do 20 gift memberships. And we're not that far from that, man. Thank you so much. It's very generous of you, Dr. Cataclysm. We're not that far. And there's got to be at least 100 of you guys who haven't subscribed yet. So if you subscribe and we get to 98,500, you're going to get 20 gift memberships from Dr. Cataclysm. And let me tell you something. If you do that, I'll give 10 gift memberships. I'm a little short on cash right now, so I can't ball out like Dr. Cataclysm, but I will give 10 gift memberships. So that'll be 30 gift memberships if we meet that goal. If anybody else want to join me in Dr. Cataclysm, that'd be great. So if we get to 98,500, we're going to be giving a lot of free memberships. Let's keep going.
Connection to the body in the Tesla until they got a call from TMZ last week. Now, keep in mind that David has been cooperating with authorities. He has not been named a person of interest, let alone a suspect. But at this point, this concert in Seattle, the next concert date, has been canceled. And people here are saying, what's going on? Take a look. Few words from those arriving at the Lake Elsinore home where 15-year-old Celeste Rivas.
Now, there's rumors that I heard that the family is poor, that the Lake Elsinore area is a very poor area. And number two, that a lot of them are illegal and a lot of them are, and a lot of her extended families in Mexico. And that's why they may have been silent out of fear of immigration and other things like that. This is what I'm hearing. These are rumors on the internet. Take them with a grain of salt. Remember, when we talk rumors, we make sure that you understand that it's rumors. And when we talk facts, we make sure that you understand that it's facts. These are rumors that I'm hearing. Let's keep going. Notice we've only heard from the brother. Everything that we're hearing from is from the brother. We have not seen or heard the parents speak out in public yet about this situation. And a good reason for that could be just because they're mourning. That could just be the only explanation for it. But once again, these are the rumors that I'm hearing. Let's keep going. Big shout out to Jamie Brooke with 1 gift membership donated to the chat. We appreciate you.
Here in April of 2024, her family has just found out that it is her partially dismembered body that was found in the trunk of a Tesla registered to popular singer-songwriter David Anthony Burke, known by the stage name David. TMZ broke the girl's identification after speaking to her mother.
It was a very heart-wrenching conversation. She was very upset and said that all she knew is that, her daughter had been missing all of this time.
Now, this is some issue I have a problem with. I think this was highly inappropriate that this girl, her mother found out she's gone from TMZ. I think it's highly inappropriate because TMZ knew that the mother didn't know that her daughter was dead because TMZ is the one that contacted law enforcement and aided law enforcement in kind of figuring out that this might be the girl. And then after that, this is my understanding, maybe I got it wrong, but after that, that's when TMZ went to the parents. Either way, whether TMZ went to the mother first and then they put it together, I don't know. The bottom line is, if TMZ had an inclination that this might be the little girl, they should have contacted the police first and allowed police to make that notification, not some reporter that follows celebrities and...
Oh my God, I agree with that. I did not know that. Listen, Lindas and gentlemen's, TMZ should have never notified the mother or parents or anybody else that that little girl was dead. Are you kidding me? Nope. You know, I think that's the worst part about this. Oh, I don't either, Lady Q, especially after what they did to Ahmad. Oh, hell no. You know, I don't either. But you know what? One thing you don't do is you don't overstep your bounds and just call up and say, oh, did you realize that your daughter's dead? Trying to get a story. Trying to get your next 15 or 20 bucks or $100. Are you serious right now? You know, yeah, they're going to be a thing in the past, in my opinion, also. Oh yeah, they've in my opinion, they've always been, in my opinion. Yeah, that is totally crazy. Why would you do that? How would they like that? Woo! That's just my opinion. Free speech, man. Listen, let's listen to what he says, because he's going to tell you as a detective how they go about it. Okay, hold on.
Airports say, yo, what's up, man? It's TMZ. How you doing, man? It's TMZ. How you doing? How you feel about Nicki Minaj today? Those people aren't equipped to do that. When law enforcement make these notifications, they have chaplains with them. They have priests and therapists and social workers with them when they make those notifications. TMZ made the notification on the telephone. Law enforcement would never make a notification on telephone. We don't notify people on the telephone. We go face to face and give them emotional support. You rob that family of that support, TMZ. That's just unethical. It really is. It's unethical what they did. Now, listen, I'm happy that the mother knows now. I'm not hating on TMZ at all. But I'm just, as a person in law enforcement who knows what that family deserved, they were robbed of that emotional support by hearing it from some intern on the phone.
Told us that she was aware that there was...
Because it wasn't this guy, and it wasn't the TMZ owner dude. It wasn't these two stars. It was some intern on the phone, to be honest with you.
A boyfriend named David.
And that her daughter had a tattoo with the letters "shh" on her right index finger.
That the color of the ink of that tattoo was red, which was something that police had not released to the public.
The singer, who has been cooperating with police, had continued his tour after the body was discovered, but he just canceled his next date in Seattle.
But it just seemed odd to us that, gosh, your car, you know, such a grisly discovery in your car, and that you're just out on tour, you would think that, you know, you'd want to find out what happened here, because this is just a very bizarre case.
Especially because one of his videos actually features a body being put in the trunk of a car.
It's just eerie considering what ended up happening in David's car.
I just hope that the truth comes forward.
Celeste's neighbors on the street she grew up at.
Justicia.
Justice is what family and friends are asking for.
Whatever happened could happen to someone else, and it's just scary.
Now, again, at this point, I want to...
Let's go to the next one.
I spoke with Charles Ladebaudiere. He's executive producer of TMZ. You've seen him a million times with Harvey Levin. And it was TMZ who first made some of the connections between the missing 13-year-old girl and the body in the trunk of David's car. Here's our conversation. Charles, it's good to have you.
That wasn't a mom, by the way. Somebody said the mom is smiling. If you talk about the video we just saw, that wasn't a mother. Those were neighbors. Those were not family members of the victim, of the decedent.
Do we know how long Celeste's body was in that Tesla?
That is a big question at this point, Ashley. What we do know is that the car was impounded on the 5th of September. The police discovered the body in the Tesla on the 8th of September. Now, We also know that the car had been abandoned on that street in the Hollywood Hills for at least 3 days before it was impounded. We've also spoken to neighbors in that area who said that there were people who had walked by the car and had noticed a bad odor, and that they kind of thought it was either a dead animal somewhere, either under the car or near the car. But when they called the police to report this car abandoned, they didn't mention the odor. They just thought it was a dead animal somewhere in the area. And then, of course, the police had the car in the impound
that's at least
yard
6 days
for a couple
right
of
there.
days before suddenly someone there was like, yeah, there's something off here. And that's when they opened that front hatch on the Tesla and found the bag with the body parts.
And they call that the frunk, if I'm not mistaken, in the front of the Tesla. It's like the trunk in the front, so to speak. But that's a really good point of forensic interest, that there was someone who noticed something that didn't smell right when the car was abandoned on that California street. So that would indicate that the body was in there probably prior to the impound lot. Are they able to determine how Celeste died at this point?
The medical examiner has said that the cause of death is deferred, meaning they have not been able to figure it out at this point, and there's going to be further toxicology testing. It may just be that, remember, what was put in that bag, the body had been dismembered, and maybe they don't have enough at this point to positively say this was the cause of death.
I also believe that, and I believe they're also trying to keep him cooperating, and because they say he is cooperating, and they're trying to gather all the information first, digital and otherwise, probably. I would like to know, is cooperating just answering questions, or has he turned over anything? They did search his house, and I did understand they did take some things from that house. Now, was that just some of her things where she was staying there? I don't know. But I'm sure they got search warrants and took digital evidence, and I think they're doing this by the book. But we will find out. We will find out. I do, in my opinion, think he will eventually, and this is just me, I think he'll eventually be arrested.
It sounds weird to say they don't have a cause of death because, look, it's LAPD robbery homicide that is investigating. The body being dismembered would lead one to believe that this is a homicide, but they just don't have that forensically yet. They can't say for sure what the cause of death is.
And not to be too graphic, but it's important for the investigation and obviously for the autopsy as well. She was not found in her complete, her complete body wasn't found. These were parts. And if I'm not mistaken, was it a head and a torso and that's it?
Yeah, there was also, you're right, this is just very grisly.
So people are asking, how is he walking free? This is crazy. First of all, just a head and a torso was found in there. But, I got to give my commentary because we're going to make this transformative, people. I know this is a pivotal moment. We'll get right back to it. But people are asking, why is he arrested yet? Because you guys got to understand how we think in law enforcement, right? I'm going to give you an example with an SA crime, all right? If I get a case where a young woman comes, and I want to set the record straight also, like somebody said in the chat, like, I'm impressed that you're a homicide detective. I am not a homicide detective. I've never said that before a day in my life. Just want to make sure you guys understand, because I don't ever want to misrepresent anything about me. I am an SA detective. I can't say the word, say it inside of the chat, but what the first letter of the first word is S, and the second letter of the second word is A, okay? You'll get it, figure it out in the chat. I'm an SA detective. I investigate those type of crimes. So I'm gonna give you an example from my line of work so you guys understand what's happening right now with the LAPD, the Hollywood PD. let's say I get two type of cases. The first case I get is a person's walking down the street minding their business, and somebody grabs them up, put a knife to their throat, total stranger, drags them into an alleyway and essays them. That's the first type of case. The second type of case is somebody has a long-term friend that they've been friends with for 30 years. They go out to have a drink. The person slips something in their drink, brings them back to their home and essays them, and they don't remember, but they know it happened and whatever. Those are two types of suspects. The first suspect, the one who put the knife to the person's throat and pull him inside the alleyway, is more dangerous to society than the second suspect who took advantage of a long-term friend. You have to work at different speeds for those two different cases. The first case requires you to solve that case at
Where's Summer? They said her father's name is Paul Rocha, like Rocha, but they said that was from her teacher. And then her teacher was saying that he was very good with her stepdad. So she had a stepfather. So her father, I guess, was in her life, but I don't know to what point or what extent. So I did want to answer that for you. And again, Paul, Paulrocha, was her real father's name, according to what her teacher has said. I'll get to him in another live probably or something like that to see. I have to dig a little bit deeper on that, but she does have from what I'm understanding, a stepfather. So I don't know.
as fast as possible, because that person will keep grabbing random strangers off the street to essay them. And he will escalate eventually to murder if the person resists.
No, but I'm sure
the
they
other
got
person,
video.
you have to move
video.
fast to get that
You go
person,
back and get all
but you
that.
have more time to do an even more thorough investigation to make sure that all of the defenses that that person is going to use, like no, it was consensual or whatever, aren't true. So there are investigative steps we can do in that case that I'm not going to talk about because I don't want our investigative steps to be known to the general public. But there's things we could take our time to do in that acquaintance essay versus what we would do in a stranger essay. So in this situation, is D4VD going to go out there and just start slaughtering everybody that he meets? No. This was a DV investigation. This is a DV murder. She died because she was close to him and they had an emotional connection, etc. All right? So what's happening is the police are taking their time. They're taking their time to build a strong case.
Is the car
Remember, he thinks he has an alibi. They don't know exactly when she passed away. They just believe based off of the
So what we're understanding is the car that was registered to David was found in a abandoned Hollywood Hills neighborhood. I don't know, but if anything was in an airport, they will find that via video. But it was saying that it was at a Hollywood Hills neighborhood, and people did walking down the street smell the foul odor and stuff, but they didn't report the foul odor. That's what they just said earlier in this video too. They didn't report the foul odor. But after 3 days, it sat there. They called and had it towed off. And then it sat in the tow yard about on the 5th. And then on the 8th is when they opened the trunk. They started even smelling a more foul. They started smelling the foul odor. So that would be a total of about 6 days. So that's that little tidbit. So I just want to make sure y'all understand that.
The forensic evidence that it happened at or about September 8th. That's not a hard number. It's not a hard number. So they're taking their time. Let's go find blood. Let's go find evidence of the murder in the house. Let's go find DNA on the body. Let's go find all the different things that paints the story before we arrest him. Because once you arrest somebody and you charge them, there's something called speedy trial. Your back is on the wall
go ahead,
now.
Please. That's fine.
Your back is on the wall to get this case together. Rather, you let him walk for a little bit. You let him stay out for another week or 2 or 3 while you build a strong case so that when you do arrest him, all of that work is done. That is what's happening. He's not going to get away with this if he's guilty. Remember, he's innocent until proven guilty, people. He's not going to get away. But the police don't have to move like he's a serial murderer. They don't have to move like that because D4VD is not a serial murderer. He's not. Even if he's guilty of what he did to this girl, he's not a serial murderer. Nobody else is going to lose their life in the time it takes for them to build their case and arrest him. But it is imperative that they build a strong case to make sure that Celeste gets justice rather than rush and then she gets nothing because he has $1 million and he has a record label behind him that's going to be trying to probably help him in his defense because they invested $10 million in him already. They need to make sure that they come correct so that this guy gets thrown the book at him if he's guilty of what he did. All right, guys, we're about to continue, but I just want to stop one more time and say, please hit that like button. We have almost 700 people watching the stream right now, but only 286 likes. Please hit the like button, support the channel so we can get into the algorithm. Let's keep going. I think somebody wants to pin something for the Dr. Cataclysm. Okay, I got you. And then we just got a $20 super chat from Global Friends who says, new here, love your channel. Thank you so much, Global Friends. That's very kind of you, man. Make sure I got the full name for Global Friends. I can't see it on this screen. It says Global Friends Corner. Thank you so much, Global Friends Corner. That's very kind of you. You're brand new to the channel, and you're starting off with a bang with a nice fat super chat. Thank you so much.
Thank you. I'll check out that channel. Thank you.
Say, but I don't know if they have.
How does this work?
I had all the limbs. They certainly had some of them because
the police did
say that she had this tattoo.
Yeah. If somebody will grab me his link too, so I don't forget. I just wrote it down.
She had a tattoo
if somebody
on her right index
grab
finger
it as well and
that
maybe
said
send it to me
the letters
email or message me
SHHH ...
I'll study it.
And that was on her
as well.
right index finger. We had actually spoken to Celeste's mother last week. And at that point, the police had said that the tattoo was there, but the mom told us more information, which the police had not released, which was that the tattoo was in red ink.
Thank you for watching. Subscribe below and
interesting stuff, man. We're learning more. We're going on our journey, people. We're learning. We're going on our journey.
The body found inside the trunk of an abandoned Tesla registered to the singer David has been identified as 15-year-old Celeste Rivas. The teen was reported a runaway and missing out of Lake Elsinore nearly a year and a half ago. Tonight, a house close to where that Tesla was abandoned was searched. Eyewitness News reporter Tim Caputo is there live now in Hollywood with more. Tim.
And Mark, those CSI investigators literally just left the scene about 10, 15 minutes ago. The police tape finally came off and we were able to come a little bit closer to this house. Now, we don't know at this point what exactly those detectives were looking for, what they got out of that house. We saw them pull evidence and put it into an SUV, essentially where I'm standing right now. We don't even know why they were here in the first place, but this house just happens to be literally feet away from where that Tesla was found. A dozen LAPD investigators took a computer and other items from this Hollywood home just a block away from where an abandoned Tesla was found with a dead teenager in the trunk. Police spent hours at the home on Dehaney Place, placing several evidence bags into an SUV, but they wouldn't say if or how it was connected to the Tesla. Several homeowners say they remember seeing that distinct Tesla for a while. First parked in front of the house police searched today, then at two different spots on the street.
It's a little weird to see a car that I haven't seen here for a long time. Had a big dent on it, had a Texas plate on it. So all a little odd, but at the same time, you know, people could be hanging out with friends for, you know, for a long time.
That abandoned Tesla was towed earlier this month, and workers at a Hollywood tow yard noticed a foul odor and found decomposed human remains wrapped in a garbage bag
Wait, isn't that a little strange to see it? Well, maybe not if he knew people down the street or something, but isn't it a little strange? They said they saw it parked there in front of the house, and then they saw it parked in two different spots. So, I don't know. That's just a little strange to me. That's just weird. Maybe the way their streets are, they have different parking spaces, but was he driving around? I don't know. It's just strange. I just caught that. But also, wouldn't you, if your car was gone, want to know where the hell your car was at? Like, who towed my car? Like, where did they tow my car to? Now, granted, if it's only a block away, you're going to assume it's at the tow yard a block away. You can even walk a block away, but did nobody go down there and check to see if his car was there? Not him. Did he not pick up the phone and call? Not his bodyguard. Now, granted, he was on world tour. Was he there? I don't know, y'all. Something is mighty strange here. Just saying. Just
inside the car. We now know the young woman found dead was 15-year-old Celeste Rivas, according to the medical examiner, the same teen who was reported missing from Lake Elsinore last year. At a corner store in town, the owner recalled her coming in often.
She always quiet, nice. She come in like if she buy like a chips, soda, and leave. Sometimes she come with a friend from the neighborhood.
Eyewitness News has learned Rivas had run away from home a few times. She was last reported missing in spring of 2024. Those who knew Rivas, who just turned 15 a week and a half ago, say she was bubbly and sweet.
She just seemed very lively and friendly, a typical teenager.
The medical examiner hasn't determined her cause of death, but part of the police investigation will be speaking to the owner of that Tesla, a musician who goes by David. His real name, David Anthony Burke, from Houston, Texas. David, made popular via social media for the songs Romantic Homicide and Here With Me, began the American leg of his world tour on July 30th and has continued performing since the investigation began. Tonight's show, though, in Seattle was canceled. The medical examiner also trying to determine how long Rivas had been dead, but based on the condition of the body, it might have been a while. Those who saw the Tesla this summer and watched LAPD spend hours in this well-to-do Bird Streets neighborhood are rattled by everything that's happened here.
It's scary to think that this is happening. And this is a beautiful neighborhood, it's very nice, beautiful, expensive homes, and we would think that we'd be safer.
Interesting note, the home here behind me that detectives have been focused on the better part of today has 2 cameras above the garage as well as a ring camera. In fact, this entire neighborhood has pretty extensive security system, with many of the homes having several cameras. We do know from a couple neighbors I spoke with earlier that police were here last week asking to review or see some of the security camera footage. We don't know if they got anything, if it's helped the case. As to this point, LAPD has been extremely tight-lipped about this entire investigation.
Okay. I don't know. All right, so before we go to the reaction of some of these people over here, I want to go ahead and play some clips of these folks kind of like together. Like there was an interview that was done. Where's that interview at? Where did I do that? Where did I put that interview? Ooh. This is it right here. This is him talking about basically making the Romantic Homicide song. I want to bring that to you guys' attention so you guys can hear him talk, because I'm not a fan of this guy. I didn't know anything about this guy till this whole true crime situation came out. So this is like us kind of like figuring out who this guy is and getting his mannerisms down, packing all that. So I got this from the Zach Sang show. I don't know much about Zach Sang, but all credit goes to him. Let's go.
Say, okay, I'm not going to be a professional gamer. Let me pursue music.
And it kind of tells us like his history, because he started off as a professional gamer doing like Fortnite and stuff like that, and then he decided to go into singing.
Time. Do you remember that moment where you're like, this is probably going to work out better than my original goal?
That moment happened the day I made Romantic Homicide, I think.
because right after the Fortnite stuff was going on, I moved to TikTok and started doing the covers because I started out as the meme thing. And then I made Romantic Homicide, and it was so different than everything else I had made because it was actually sad. It was slow, it was sad, it was emotional, it had weight to it. Most of my other songs, like Take Me to the Sun and The Dirty Secrets before that, and You and I, they're all like these indie up-tempo records that you could just like do whatever to. And I played it for my mom. And whenever my mom hates something, I know it's cool. Like when I used to get up and get dressed for school in the morning, I put on this cool fit. She would like, take that off, put on a suit or something like that. You know, I knew it was cool if she hated it. I played it for her in the car. And she was like, David, this song is too violent. You're talking about killing people in your music? No, not my son. And I was like, wait, I might be onto something. Bro. So I dropped it right after that. And it went crazy. TikTok, viral, 1 million views overnight. I was like, oh yeah, we cooking, boy. We cooking, boy. So right at that moment, I was like, my mom has done it again. Because if she said, oh, I like, because I was already skeptical about the song when I made it. Like, I was like, okay, maybe it's just too dark. I don't know what I'm doing. I held on to it for a minute until I decided to play it for my mom, and she hated it. And that was my cue. That was the you go do it. So after that, it was just like, it was history, man.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
That is, were you sad at the time of making it?
I was. I mean, dude, homeschooling really takes a toll on a kid. Like
isolation.
Yeah. And there's outlets like, I know I made a couple friends now that were homeschooled, but they had like these groups that they would go to like bi-weekly.
You know, every time I speak to a dude, I know that he's a piece of ish. Like when I'm in my day job, I wonder like how these guys feel. I'm asking a question. Like how they feel speaking to this guy, kind of venerating him. They're not doing anything wrong, by the way. They're interviewers. They're interviewing somebody who is an artist. They don't know what he did. But I wonder like how they feel now, knowing that, you know, allegedly they might have just been steps away from somebody with so much blood on their hands. I wonder how that I'm just always curious about little things like that. It's in no way a knack on these folks or anything. I would just love to know, like, hey, how do you feel? You know, how does that make you feel now when you were talking to this guy and you really felt that he was positive and on a very great trajectory of being an influential singer, a songwriter?
I don't think any of his songs was influential, if you ask me.
Feet away from you.
And just to socialize, but I didn't have that. Like there was no like extracurricular activities I was involved in it was just me at home playing Fortnite, getting schoolwork done, learning how to code and build computers for 4 years. 4 years. So yeah, man, Romantic Homicide was just like, I wanted to feel what the other kids were feeling. Like everybody I knew, well, in middle school that I didn't talk to anymore, everybody had relationships. I didn't have a relationship. I wanted to do that. I wanted to be involved in this or have a heartbreak for myself. So I kind of just like made up these scenarios of myself getting heartbroken and being in love and stuff like that. And I would write songs about things that never happened. And that would just become my life.
Now it's all happening.
4 years, man. Yeah.
You were also raised in a very religious household.
Yeah. Super.
Does God play a role in your life today?
Bro, the faith-based thinking and just being...
While he's saying that, he's saying no. He's like, bro, the faith-based thinking. He's about to big up how being raised in a religious household, I presume, I didn't listen to this part, helped him. But he's saying no while he's talking about it.
Grounded on the rock of God is just
Listen,
like...
the devil could lie, but he can't lie to God. Listen to him.
Like, it helps me in so many aspects of staying level-headed and staying on the ground and staying realistic and not getting too big of a head. And my family is very, very supportive, and they're my support system, and they guide me through this whole thing. We have family Bible study every Saturday, you know.
Wow.
And I'm still trying to learn and grow more in the faith, and just keep myself super.
So he's got black nail polish on with crosses on it, almost like he's making a mockery of religion. It's crazy. I mean, I'm not trying to be too symbolistic, but I mean, we know what allegedly we think we know what he did to this girl. He's talking about God. He has black nail polish on. Each other finger has black nail polish with red cross to black nail polish and a gold cross on it. And just alternating like that. Like, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe he just think he's a rock star, and that's why he has that, you know, the rock stars, the rebels. Or maybe he's making a mockery of Jesus Christ. I don't know.
I wouldn't say like normal, but keeping myself very sane. It helps me stay sane in this entire thing for sure. Yeah.
It is. What can you describe what is grounding about it? I mean,
of course,
family has a lot to do with it. Also, it's what you've known for a long time, so it brings you back.
Of course. I mean, I tweeted the other day, stay prayed up. Like, prayer is the most important thing. When you have like, God is my therapist. Well, songwriting is way from.
Somebody said, Tamara Webster says, we all know that a jealous upcoming artist could have very well have done this, kidnapped Celeste, who was driving the Tesla, murdered her, etc., placed her in the trunk and abandoned her. You serious, Tamara, or you just trolling? and let's say that you're true. Let's say what you're saying is true. Does that absolve him from the fact that he's screwing around with an underage girl?
Boom.
I'm just curious here. I just want to know if you're serious. That's all I want to know.
Me to express myself. Before I write a song, I have to pray about it, and then I have to pray and like, or not write a song, but before I release a song, I have to pray about it. Is this the right thing? But I'm also talking to him about the things I'm not writing about, and like the pain and hurt and all these emotions that I feel. And sometimes I get overwhelmed with this whole thing and before a tour and stuff like that. And how do I approach this the right way? How do I handle a situation properly? And how do I go about this and that? And I always talk to God before I do it. Am I doing this the right way? Am I doing this the right way? And then I come back, like, okay, have that mental clarity. It's like, such a relieving process to be able to pray and talk to God and hear his voice and be able to understand situations and comprehend life in such a multi-dimensional way, because there's so many different people that I come in contact with.
And I said 13 years old because she was 13 when she started dealing with him. So when we just talk about the age she was when she passed away, we're not even doing her any justice, because now it's like, oh, well, he was messing with a 14 or a 15-year-old girl. No, he was not messing with a 14 or a 15-year-old girl. When he started messing with her, she was a 13-year-old girl. When he started messing with her, she was 13 years old, allegedly. So we're not doing her no justice just talking about the age she was when she lost her life. No, this was a baby. She was a baby. And there's some reports out there saying that he met her when she was 11. Some reports out there saying that he met her when she was 11. Let's keep going, though. I haven't verified those reports yet, though. I'm just telling you the rumors. Remember, I tell you guys rumors when I think they're rumors. The rumors are she was 11 in 2021, but we at least know, because that's when she went missing. She went missing at 13. She went missing at 13. There's rumors that she was 11. There's rumors that he was paying off her classmates to not tell people that he's messing with this baby. Now listen, I'm gonna be honest with you guys. We love free speech here. But on this channel, we don't cap for pedos. We don't know if he's a murderer, but I think there's a lot of evidence allegedly that show that he was a pedophile.
Boom, boom,
don't come
boom,
on my
boom.
channel capping for no
Absolutely,
pedophile.
100.
Otherwise, we're gonna show you some swift justice. Never forget, I'm not just a YouTube commentator. I'm a detective, and this is what I do for a living. I take this seriously. This is not entertainment for me. This is my life's work. Don't come on True Crime and Strategic capping for no pedo. We don't like pedos on this channel.
Smileys don't like
so many
pedos
personalities, and you have to kind of accommodate that, you know?
Go away,
and I don't want to
go
come off as
away.
mean or rude to anybody. I always try to keep a very peaceful aura and just, you know, approach everybody with peace and love. So,
did you pray on those records that were supposed to be your debut album? Is that how you realized they weren't right?
Yeah, it was that, and a mixture of my team kind of telling me like, you got to stay David. I mean, SZA told me that as well. And God will kind of send me messages through the people I'm around. When I was on tour with SZA, I was just backstage, and I had gifted her some sound bowls. She loves sound bowls. I give her some sound bowls. She was like, oh my God, thank you so much. Oh. And I asked her, like, how do you do this? I was in awe of her the entire tour. I was like, how did you get to this point? Like, you have this huge team with 10 tour buses and this huge production, and like there's dancers and guitarists doing backflips, and like, how did you get here? And she was like, you just gotta stay you, boy. You gotta stay you. And I was like, okay. But it didn't click until like 9 months later, after I went through making a pop album that sounded nothing like me, and this that sounded nothing like me. It was just that her voice in my head. And
Stay you, man. Stay you, killing them girls. Killing them little girls. All right, let's see what's going on.
In a shocking case,
there
in
you
fact,
go. You guys get to see how he talks and see his mannerisms, all that stuff. That's why I played that. I want you guys to kind of get to know this artist, because a lot of you guys don't know who he is. Listen, I'm 41. Most of you guys are my age and older. We don't know who this guy is. We don't listen to his music. This is what our children are listening to. When he's talking about, I love you, but I hate you, and I killed you, and I don't care. This is what our kids are listening to. This is what they're digesting in. We wonder why these kids are walking around with depression and all that stuff. And all these kids are smurdering each other and smurdering themselves and all that stuff because they listening to this depressive music. But let's keep going.
Investigators have now identified the teenage girl found dead in a car owned by singer David. KCAL's Nicole Comstock went to Lake Elsinore tonight, where the young girl's family reported her missing last year.
This young lady's family told us earlier this afternoon that they didn't want to talk about this, which is completely understandable because it's obvious that they're going through a really traumatic time right now. But Lake Elsinore is a really tight-knit community, and many here knew this young girl. They say they just hope that at the end of the day, the truth about what happened to her comes to light. It's a somber night in Lake Elsinore after residents learned that a local girl named Celeste Rivas, who went missing early last year, has now been identified as the 15-year-old girl found dead in the trunk of a Tesla in Hollywood that's reportedly registered to the singer-songwriter David.
I feel sad for her, sad for her family too.
Ely Nadef owns the market around the corner from her family's home and says Rivas used to come in all the time for candy until she stopped coming in sometime last year.
It's sad for the kids. They get lost. The kids get lost by the social media. Even I'm a parent, I'm fighting the war to raise my kids.
Rivas's brother would only say that his family was grieving this afternoon. The singer's representatives reportedly said he was cooperating with investigators last week while he continued his world tour. But tonight, his concert in Seattle was canceled. The LA County Sheriff's Department is still saying that there are no persons of interest in this case, going as far as to say that at this point, there's no evidence that a crime did or did not occur. But many in this community have questions about what possible connection, if any, she may have had to the singer.
She had a boyfriend named David, and then they have matching tattoos.
This woman says her daughter knew Rivas from school and that she went missing more than once. Another neighbor says Rivas briefly came home 4 months after she was initially reported missing.
So I am like 100% sure that that was the day that I last saw her.
She says she remembers the date because Rivas bought something from her at a yard sale.
She just seemed like just happy. Like, oh my God, look at this, look at that.
The Riverside County Sheriff's Department says Rivas was initially reported to them as a runaway and that she wasn't located during a search of the area. And we heard that Rivas went to school at Lakeland Village. So we reached out to the Lake Elsinore Unified School District, and they told us in writing in part that they were heartbroken to learn about the tragic passing of one of their former students. Reporting in Lake Elsinore, Nicole Comstock, KCAL News.
So yeah, if y'all want to listen to the rest of that, please do. He's got a bunch more on there, so we're not going to listen to his whole stream. But yeah, and go sub up to him. But he's got a lot of insight. I like how I want to hear the detective's part of it. I feel like this is just, seriously, I believe his whole tour is canceled now, said C. Taylor. I believe so now. But what I think now is he was cooperating all that. And, you know, they haven't come out and said he's a suspect or anything, but not at least while I was on, unless they have while I was on here. But what I do believe, after they searched his house and stuff, probably they've told him, because he canceled his tour, I believe they haven't publicly come out and stated he's a suspect. But you better believe, in my opinion, and this is just my opinion, they probably told him, don't leave the area. You know, we're not going to track you down, but don't leave the state or the area. I'm probably sure that's why he canceled his tour. I'm sorry, but, you know, that's just the way things are. You know, in my opinion, but that's just me. If I would have to guess, that's just me. That's just me. you would love to know who David loved to listen to as a young kid. Who's his music? Yeah, that would be interesting to know. Absolutely. Who was his inspiration? Absolutely.
So Matthew Rivas, Celeste's brother, has spoken out to a news outlet. Celeste's brother told NBC that they are currently grieving and we're well aware that Celeste was dating David, the singer. Okay. So when we were talking about, well, do we know if mom knew or didn't know? It sounded like she knew. It sounded like the family were aware that Celeste was dating a singer. Okay. Matthew Rivas said that when his sister disappeared, she was on her way to see a movie with him, but she never returned. That is like the most upsetting thing to hear. Like, I don't know if Matthew is younger or older than Celeste, but she was waiting for her sister to go see a movie and she never appeared. And I would have imagined that he probably called her on the phone, was communicating, maybe she didn't pick up, and he's wondering, well, maybe she forgot or whatever. And again, she was reported as a runaway. And what I had told you guys on my other videos is, even though kids are reported as runaways, they're not always like they might come back and then kind of leave again. It's not always like a permanent thing for them, especially those that chronically run away. They come back, they might appear here and there. And it sounds like, she was having a connection with their brother. I mean, this is the saddest thing that I just reading this makes me upset. So the article further says that the singer's tour was in Minneapolis. This is where he was touring at the time of the discovery with a stop in Kansas City the next day, according to the Instagram profile.
Good afternoon.
That car was
Good to
impounded
see
after
you,
someone
honey.
reported it abandoned. It was not reported stolen. Again, this is a car that he never reported stolen. This man has not been formally charged or anything like that. I have received numerous emails about his bodyguard, and I found a very interesting video about the bodyguard. I heard that the bodyguard was being investigated by the FBI and other sources regarding Celeste. I'm not really sure if that's the case, but let me just say this. I saw this very creepy video about the bodyguard on social media, and already I'm not really liking what I'm seeing. I mean, it's just giving me a vibe.
I don't know. I really don't know.
The other thing that I heard and I'm working on a little bit further is this pregnancy. Was Celeste pregnant? This is something that a lot of us had, speculated as possible motive for her murder. I want to see something a little bit more concrete, and I feel like I'm working on that I might be able to drop something tomorrow with more receipts about this. I just want to give a little bit more context. I'm working on that. So make sure you guys check us out. Tomorrow we'll be live to go over some of this, but I'm also going to keep an eye open on Telemundo, Univision, all these other outlets to see if the family's going to speak out. They're Spanish speakers, so it would make sense for them to go to one of those networks. And I'm pretty fluent, so we could definitely translate. So let me know what you guys think in the comments. Again, we're just going to keep up and keep pushing with this information. I linked the GoFundMe in the description box, so you guys can go and donate to the Rivas family. And again, this is just sad, especially for her brother, given that they had plans to go to the movies together. To then find out this is what happened is insane to me. I'll see you guys later.
Yeah, I kind of don't either. I don't either. That will have to remain to be seen, but I don't know if they have everything that they need, the medical examiner and all, but I guess that will remain to be seen. I'm not sure if that will just have to, I don't think it does, in my opinion. I think it has a lot more to do with a lot of different other things, in my opinion. But I wanted to play that one, and I have one more to play I thought was very, very interesting, and it's just me. But I wanted to play it. Let's do it. Hold on.
some new information on what's going on with the David case. If you don't know who David is, oh my God, where have you been? He has billions of streams. He is a TikTok star. He was set to take over Frank Ocean's throne in music. He sang that song, I don't care how long it takes. He sang it better. The whole point of the matter is he also had a secret life that was not so secret, okay? He had a girlfriend who at the time of her disappearance was 13. I'll let you know something. He was not under 18 when it happened, okay? He was grown. However, new reports are coming out to show that that's when she went missing. They actually started dating around the time that she was 11 and 12, and baby, she actually looked 11 or 12. Okay, she was found in his car, chopped, screwed. He's been cooperating with the police. The police have raided his house. Now, here's the interesting thing, okay? When you looked at Reddit threads, okay, before this girl, we even knew that girl tragically was in the trunk, there were mysterious people from this girl's hometown randomly posting on Reddit, I hope to God it's not Celeste, he's this, David's a PDF file, and telling all his business. I went into detail in other videos, just go look through the playlist. But let me just bring you to this, okay? Now, interestingly enough, whenever somebody would be online spilling his tea, this before we even knew that girl was in the car, okay? There was always somebody being like, no, what are you talking about? He's a great person. What are you talking about? What are you talking about? What are you talking about? And I'm beginning to think that even though David is cooperating with police, I do think he's going to get arrested, okay? There have been a bunch of red herrings put out. The latest one, that the bodyguard might have been the one to do it. There was a report that said the bodyguard might have been. It was put online. It was all this fake information. Well, all this information. Everybody ran to see what was going on. However, now we're finding out through the bodyguard's post, who he may or may not be telling the truth, that he said, my name's Bennett and I ain't in it. I never worked for him. I don't know what we're talking about. Please take my name out of the convo. You guys, let's get into this. Again, David is chronically online. He is very tech savvy. The police raided his house. They were looking for blood. They were looking for this. The family wants more and more info. I think the mother, a lot of people have been saying, how could the mother let this happen? That's a good question. How come she didn't report her missing earlier? That's another great question. How did your 13-year-old have a boyfriend and you never met him? That's another great question. However, I think one of the reasons the family may not be coming out and speaking so in detail of what's going on with David is because this is an ongoing police investigation. The police are dotting their I's, crossing their T's. Let's not forget that a autopsy has to be conducted. Let's also not forget the fact that this might not be the first time he's done this. If somebody has this much BALLS to literally murk someone and put them in a Tesla where there's cameras everywhere, who knows what he's into? I'm serious. I think whenever they get anyone, they never assume, unless it's like, they just never assume it's your first rodeo. If you literally get the balls to take somebody off this earth. Anyway, let's get into what's going on with the bodyguard. Because for a moment, he seemed to be a suspect, and we actually don't know if he still is. However, the bodyguard has come out to say, no, it was not me, okay? Let's get into this, okay? Reports have came in that the bodyguard who allegedly played a big role in the David and Celeste situation is now under investigation by the FBI. Now, who bought this? Mysterious fans accounts. They're speculating that David may be innocent after people are now believing his bodyguard, Marky next door, had a secret relationship with Celeste. Facts, best bodyguard he killed for, okay? Marky wrote Celeste and said, hey, Celeste, I am why. Celeste said, hi, Marky, you did great. And David said, facts, best bodyguard, he'd kill for me. You guys, what are you talking about? Listen, he also texted her, hey, Celeste, pretty girl. Okay. Now, this is very, very, very weird, to say the least, because Celeste, at the time that this was all happening, was 12 going on 13. Okay. It's weird that you saw a child around a man and you, instead of reporting it to the authorities, you're sitting there telling people how pretty you think this girl is. Like, literally, you're using the term pretty girl unironically, okay? Chesser Updates, he's a popular streamer, gave his thoughts on the entire situation. He said, David and his bodyguard, Marky Next Door, are absolutely disgusting. They both need to be jailed immediately, and I think it goes deeper than y'all think. Who murked who? Who did what? They're both creeps and both 100% guilty. Rest in peace, Celeste. All right. So a lot of people are pulling out, speculating. They're saying that reports say that there was that the FBI came in as a bodyguard who allegedly played a role in Celeste's passing, is now under investigation by the FBI. However, it was proven that it was a fabricated post with the false FBI-style wanted poster initially designed to mislead the public of a false accusation. Now, that's super interesting. And I was like, okay, what's going on? Again, who's this mysterious fan that keeps popping up?
To mislead the public. That is very interesting. That's a very interesting thought. What do y'all think about that one? I think it's very interesting. I do. I think it's very interesting. What about the bodyguard? Could he have did or anything? I don't know. Could him and David be in it together? I don't know that either. They both are weird in my opinion. I feel in my opinion, David is a pedo in my opinion. In my opinion only, allegedly. No doubt. From what I've seen and what I heard, all of the red flags are there. If you can't see that, if you can't see them red flags, I don't know what to tell you. Open your eyes. That's just me. That's just me. I don't know if he was on the tour with him the whole time, but there was some, I guess, in the email. I mean, why was the bodyguard messaging her allegedly? I mean, what was really going on here? Yeah, I mean, was he like her handler too? I mean, this is weird. This is really strange. Was he a bodyguard, a babysitter, or what? Makes my head spin. Absolutely. Absolutely. That's something you got to keep in mind. Just saying.
In every post, linked to people that know Celeste, pointing the finger at David, being like, no, he's a great person. He was a great person. Somebody check David's burner account because I think he's chronically online. Anyway, let's get into what the bodyguard says. Again, there was a fake FBI poster put up. I'm just telling you guys up to the minute stuff because this is actually getting weird. And the reason why people even took this fake stuff, because it popped up on the Discord server and it popped up in a lot of places that only people close to the situation would know about. They all went through like aliases and different handles and this and that. That's why I'm just like, David, this has to be David. Anyway, the bodyguard has come out and said, yeah, you're not pinning this mess on me. Try it with somebody else. Again, nobody knows if they are under investigation. However, the bodyguard came out and said, I don't know why someone trolling a community has even gotten me to this point, but the Discord message and screenshot with me added in is fake, and it isn't even me, nor is the message even real. My thoughts and prayers are with the victim and her families. May God bless and keep them. Okay? So then Young Prod 2.0 said, all right, I'm just asking a question here. Marky, didn't you say you was you was his bodyguard in 2022? And if he was, did you know the age of the girl that he was with, or did he at least tell you how old she was? Marky next door said, someone came into my chat and asked me if I bodyguarded for him. I said I totally did, sarcastically. The clip cuts off when I say I worked security for him when I was live every day streaming. Never been to DreamHack a day in my life. Young Prod 2.0 said, well, I don't recall myself saying that you've been a DreamHack or not. However, I'm not accusing you. I was asking questions, Marky. I get it. Things can be clipped out of context. It happens a lot to content creators. All right, so listen. Heartless Slime then said, although I will say I believe you had nothing to do with her murking, but the fact you let David carry on a relationship with her minor shows the type of sick person you are, and now she's gone. Marky next door then said, brother, I never worked for anybody and never met either person a day in my life. I genuinely have zero association with any of them. Which brings me to my point, you guys. Just hear me out, okay? I think, and I'm going to go live to talk about this, I think that there is somebody actively pushing misinformation and actively pushing misinformation to make David look innocent in the eyes of the fans. Who would be doing that? Now, you can say it's just some crazed fan. Maybe, but how would the crazed fan have intimate knowledge of people that David's met, people that David's been around, and more importantly, people that David could pin all this on? Again, you have to think, if we are looking at someone who's a complete sociopath for making romantic homicide, literally kept the body in a trunk for how long, went on tour and didn't care. You guys, we are dealing with a sociopath. We are dealing with a trained killer. There is nothing that he wouldn't do to change public perception or change image, because apparently from all the movies I watch, American Psycho and whatnot, I mean, that's what they do if you think about it. You see what I'm saying? I just don't think it's that far-fetched that he would actually try to do that. I really honestly don't. I think 100% he is trying to control the narrative. I think that he thinks that he might still be able to get out of this. Again, it is very interesting that the police have not made an arrest yet. They have the body, they have this, that. He should at least be a suspect. It is very, very weird that the police haven't made an arrest, but I think they are waiting for that autopsy to come out. It's already been confirmed by Celeste's actual account that she was actually pregnant. Go look at my video about that. We showed the receipts and the screenshots, and this was coming from Celeste's account saying that her and David had a kid on the way. In any case, you guys, listen, this story has so many twists and turns, but again, it's not the fact that misinformation is coming out. It's the fact that the misinformation is coming out, tagging key players, people that will be too close to the truth. Who will be spreading that? I think it's the guilty person online trying to see if he can throw red herrings to the investigators and to the public to try to see if he can get some type of alibi that he can get away with. That's just my opinion. That's just my opinion. Anyway, y'all, let me know what you think in the comments. I'll talk to y'all later. Bye.
Okay, so I guess we'll have to find out, not right now. I know I've kept y'all on here a long time, but I guess we'll have to find out later if her own, her own words, if she was saying she was pregnant, even if she was or was not. Some girls do say that. I mean, or did she think that? And did she write that or anything? Did she let that out publicly? Did that piss him off? I'm just saying, did he think that would ruin his career? Or, could that have been a motive? I don't. Amount of hindsight or what ifs can ever erase the grief she must carry now. Her child is gone. She's gone forever. Celeste is gone forever. Nothing won't ever bring her back. Nothing or nobody can bring her back. Nothing can change that. You can't turn back time, no matter how hard you try. So I do feel for her. For her sisters, when rumors go around about her sister or her brother knowing more, it adds up a lot of layer of pain, her family, and everything is going through. I understand that, but often the families are under the weight of the tragedy. They are torn apart. Some are trying to defend, some are blaming, some are distancing themselves. Like we heard, the brother himself said they knew, though. She went to the show. They knew where she was, who she was with. They said it in several interviews out there. And that's sad. It's sad. So, yes, as Celeste being, underage is for that, a child, no matter what, what if y'all hear me? Can you hear me? Can you see me? Can you see me? Hello? Am I back? Am I back? Okay, I think my lights had clicked off. My lights had clicked off. My lights had clicked off, y'all. Okay, I'm back from outer space. Okay. I'm back from outer space, y'all. No, my lights had clicked off just a second. But anyway, I just think he had a little sister. I don't know which one we were talking, what part you heard, but I said he has a little sister, so he had to know she was underage, right? He had to know that part, in my opinion. So the parents should have been more responsible. He should have been more responsible. and she was failed by everybody, in my opinion. Oh, thank you, Millie. Thank you. But as far as her parents, she had 3 of them. She had a stepdad and a dad. They all got along. The mom. And so, you know, what was it? Out of sight, out of mind? I don't know. Was money the root of all evil? I don't know. I know that sometimes, again, parents can't control every move, especially with today's technology. I know that. But the attention, the red flags, you got to pay attention to that. She ran away once. She was found. She was reportedly connected to an older man, a singer. You know, that's not good. The flyer went out. But her circle already knew. Her brother come out and said that. Now, who she was around, and they knew. You know? That's the very painful part. It's the very painful part, in my opinion. But it doesn't erase the pain or the grief. But it all raises fair questions. I think everything that we're saying is fair. C. Taylor says Teslas have cameras all over them and records when the car's off and deactivated and all that. Yeah, they'll get all of that. And that may be what they're waiting on, even though it's registered to him. You know, but you got to have some mighty big kahunas to do all of that, knowing that, or was he just so unsmart to all that? You know, sometimes when you got a lot of money, it makes you pretty dumb too. I'm just saying. I'm just saying, honey. I don't know, man. This is all in my opinion, of course. But if it was proven that someone close accepted money to stay quiet, no matter who they are, that would be exploitation, right? But for now, it's only whispered facts, not confirmed. Again, there's that photo, video, or whatever, showing something to the sort. But again, is that real, or is that David making a video for a music video? We don't know. And we got the teacher statements. We got all that. We're just trying to make sense of all this. But she was a child. End of story. End of the story. Children don't always know the danger. They think they know what's best for them, especially when they're teens. But they don't. But guess who does? Adults. Adults do. And when red flags wave, you don't ignore the red flags. You might ignore them once and say, I don't know, I'm not sure, especially if you've never been there. But especially if you've been there, you don't ignore them twice, right? I do feel for the mother always, but my common sense police part, mother part, grandmother part, if the singer's name was on everyone's lips, then everyone, family, police, community, should have been banging on the door until Celeste came home, right? But they didn't. It didn't seem that way. Don't let silence win, y'all. Don't let silence win. That's where evil grows. And we're here to shine the light. We're not here for clout. We're not here for all that. Let the story be told. Let the chips fall where they may. I appreciate each and every one of you being here, spending your precious time with me. And I'll be back. Just hit the thumbs up so it does get the story out there. That is free. And it has been a pleasure being here with you today. I'm Smiley. This is my world. And I will see you in the streets, YouTube streets, that is. And I'll see you later. Thank you. Bye.